Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have read about the revolution of the Earth, leap year, and elliptical orbit. Now, children, in this class, we will learn about summer solstice. So, children, let us start reading the paragraph. Now, look at figure 3.3. You will see that on 21st June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. So, children, let us see figure 3.3 first. So, this is figure 3.3, revolution of the earth and seasons. And children, here we are specifically talking about the position of the earth on the extreme left side. So, on the extreme left side, children, you can clearly see it is written 21st June. So, we are talking about this position of the earth on 21st June. So here what happens, children, on 21st June, northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun and southern hemisphere is away from the sun. We all know that the earth is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degree. So due to this tilt, children, on 21st June, northern hemisphere is bent towards the sun, whereas the southern hemisphere is away from the sun. Now, let us read further. The rays of the sun fall directly on Tropic of Cancer. As a result, these areas receive more heat. The areas near the poles receive less heat as the rays of the sun are slanting. So now, since the northern hemisphere is tilted or it is bent towards the sun, children, that is why the rays of the sun fall directly on Tropic of Cancer. The direct rays of the sun fall on Tropic of Cancer on 21st June. This is very important. On 21st June, direct rays of the sun fall on Tropic of Cancer. And we all know, children, Tropic of Cancer lies in which hemisphere? It lies in northern hemisphere. So, children, now what happens? All the areas which lie around Tropic of Cancer receive more heat. Since direct rays of the sun is falling on Tropic of Cancer, so all those places which lie on Tropic of Cancer will receive more heat. While the areas that lie near the poles, children, they receive less heat as the rays of the sun fall in a slanting way. Now, children, we have already learned in chapter 2 when we were reading about the heat zones, we have already learned that when the sun rays fall directly on any region, then that region receives more heat. But when the sun's rays fall in a slanting way on any region, then that region receives less heat. So, Tropic of Cancer gets more heat, whereas the poles receive less heat from the sun. Now, the North Pole is inclined towards the sun and places beyond the Arctic Circle experience continuous daylight for about 6 months. Since a large portion of northern hemisphere is getting light from the sun, it is summer in the region north of the equator. Now, children, on 21st June, North Pole is also inclined or it is tilted towards the sun. You can see here, children, on 21st June, North Pole is also tilted towards the sun. North Pole is tilted towards the sun. So, children, what will happen? The places which lie beyond the Arctic Circle will get continuous light for about 6 months. Yes, children, since North Pole is inclined towards the sun, that is why places which lie beyond the Arctic Circle will get continuous daylight for 6 months. And children, since a large portion of northern hemisphere is getting more light from the sun, that is why in the northern hemisphere it will be summer season. So all the countries that lie to the north of equator, all the countries which lie in the northern hemisphere will have summer season. It will have summer season. So on 21st June, northern countries will have summer season. The longest day and the shortest night at these places occur on 21st June. So, children, along with summer season, on 21st June, children, all the countries that lie in the northern hemisphere will experience longest day and shortest night. So, children, on 21st June, what will happen? The countries which lie on the northern hemisphere, they will have longest day and shortest night. Now, children, take for example of India. India, we all know, lies in the northern hemisphere. So, on 21st June, India experiences summer season, or summer season goes on in India. So, we can say that on 21st June, all the countries which are on the northern hemisphere will have summer season, and on 21st June, all the countries that lie in the northern hemisphere will have longest day and shortest night on 21st June. Now, at this time in the southern hemisphere, all these conditions are reversed. It is winter season here. The nights are longer than the days. This position of the earth is called the summer solstice. So, children, now the question arises, what will happen to the southern hemisphere on 21st June? On 21st June, we saw that in the northern hemisphere, the countries will have summer season. They will have longest day and shortest night on 21st June. But what about the southern hemisphere? So, children, on 21st June, all the conditions get reversed in the southern hemisphere. Since southern hemisphere, children, is away on 21st June, since southern hemisphere is away from the sun on 21st June, that is why southern hemisphere experiences winter season during this time, and the nights become longer than the days. The nights become longer and the days become shorter. And children, the South Pole experiences continuous darkness for 6 months. Yes, in the North Pole, in the North Pole, the places which lie around Arctic Circle, it receives continuous daylight for 6 months. But in the case of South Pole, the places which lie around the Antarctic Circle, they will experience continuous darkness for 6 months. So the conditions get just reversed. It becomes opposite. If in northern hemisphere it is summer season, on 21st June, it will be winter season in the southern hemisphere on 21st June. In the northern hemisphere, the days will be longer, whereas the nights will be shorter. But in the southern hemisphere, the nights will become longer and the days will become shorter. So, children, this position of the earth is known as the summer solstice, and summer solstice occurs on 21st June. So, children, I hope you people have understood what is summer solstice. Now, in the next class, we will read about what is winter solstice. Children, please go through this paragraph once again, and I will see you in the next class. Thank you, children.